Welcome to another lawn mowing live stream. I'm having trouble with my glasses here. What the heck? There we go. That'll get us going for now. Just getting them on there, trying to do it one-handed there. So Thursday, October the 16th, fall is here, and just doing some normal weekly mows here. Season is almost coming to an end. Things are starting to definitely wrap up. And put the phone on the holder. Get my keys. Lock the truck. Yeah, so fall, you can see lots of fall leaves starting. It's a full Milwaukee day today, as it has been most days. Actually, that's not true. Today we got the big farm property, commercial property, at the end of the day, and I use the X-Mark mower for that one. So it's not a full Milwaukee day. It's like 90%. Got my glasses on. Yes, we got some leaves coming down. This lawn's not too bad for leaves as of yet. Last one I did had quite a few. It was a small lawn, so it was easy to handle. The other thing is that it's fully Schaefer beetle season right now. In terms of, this is when you see all the damage start from those summer beetles that I've talked about in past videos through June and stuff. And they're laying their eggs. And the eggs hatch. It's right now that they're like big juicy grubs those eggs have turned into. And they've been feeding off lawn roots for the past few months. So you get this as a result. It's like dead areas. And then you also get like the raccoons and skunks come and they pull this all up. I had a really bad one yesterday, a client, where the entire back lawn was completely destroyed. I posted a short on my YouTube channel on that yesterday. You can see that that's a very extreme case, but not uncommon. It's a client who opted to put the rub control on the lawn themselves. And they also opted not to put any on their back lawn. And that's the lawn that got destroyed, is the back lawn. So I guess kind of a lesson in how effective the grub begone stuff actually is. If you put it down and you water it properly and store it at the correct temperatures and stuff, it's pretty darn effective. I've seen also lots of other kind of anecdotal evidence for different scenarios as well, like watering the grub control down, watering it in properly. I've seen lawns where, I put it down for the client, and then I give them instructions to water thoroughly every day. During that time of year here in the city that I'm in, we have watering restrictions where you can only only normally water your lawn once a week. But if you're treating for grubs with a natural product, you can apply for a free watering permit. So the city will actually give you a watering permit for free and allow you to water your lawn every day for 21 days. So I would get all the clients that I put stuff in to apply for the watering permit. And still not all of them would take advantage of that. So I've seen some where they focused on one side of their lawn. Like in neighborhoods like this where you can see that lawns have like, a main area on one side of the driveway, then maybe a smaller strip on the other side of the driveway is quite common. So I had like a couple customers where because they didn't have irrigation and had to manually go out and put sprinkler and stuff, they would just put it on the main lawn and not worry about the other smaller strip on the other side of the driveway. So you can see here some more damage and some more raccoons and stuff have been digging up stuff here. Unfortunately, this lawn did not get treated, as far as I know. I emailed clients to let them know, and those that respond can let me know if they want it done or not. And some people don't respond. This is one of the ones that didn't respond. Luckily, they didn't. There isn't a lot of damage. It's just that little kind of concentrated spot there, and over here on the boulevard. Over here, I want to touch up. Yeah, so now this time of year is when all that stuff start to see the extent of damage. It's short-lived though, but the damage is pretty severe. But short-lived in the fact that we also have some frost already starting. And once we get frost regularly, then all those little grubs will start to burrow deep down into the lawn away from the frost. And the wildlife will stop ripping apart lawns, looking for them because they're too deep. And so you get a little break. That's some more right there where they've pulled back. You get a little bit of a break through the winter months, and then next year, in the early spring around March, those grubs start coming back up to the surface, start feeding on the roots again. I guess they go dormant or something in the winter. Here's another patch here. You can see it's all like a dead area. It's because all the roots are all gone. And you generally see a lot of the damage concentrated under trees, which is why I like that tree there. You can see another kind of grayish dead spot. It's because the Schaefer beetle they hang out in the trees during the summer and they mate and feed off the sap on the leaves and stuff. And then they land on the lawn, so they generally will just go from the tree and land straight down to the lawn around. The bigger the tree, the bigger the infestation, typically, that I've seen. The client went to go yesterday, and they had a huge tree in the front lawn, and there's really no lawn left on that one. It was really, really bad. So with that client, I actually went and knocked on the door and asked them if they wanted me to continue mowing to the end of the season, or do they want me to stop, because there wasn't much lawn left. There was only like the smaller strip on the other side of the driveway on theirs, and then they had a corner lot, kind of like this one, and the side kind of strip of the lawn. This one's just edge here. So kind of like the area over there was what was left, but the whole main part of the lawn here was completely gone on that house, like literally nothing, just dirt. And no, they told me to keep mowing till the end of the season, just do what I can, the areas that I'm able to mow, because it is still growing. For how much longer, don't know. Probably only another couple weeks, I would guess, with the frost that we had already 2 days in a row. With frost this morning, there was some frost. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we had frost on all the roofs and the lawns. This morning, when I checked, the frost was on the roofs, but there wasn't much frost on the lawns. So, but still, once you start getting that kind of consistency with the frost, though, it is going to be pretty much going into dormancy for the winter. Now, some years, depending on the weather and what's happening, we can get frost and the lawn will stop growing, and it'll literally be nothing left to cut. But I'll continue weekly visits mowing, but it's because of leaves. And while the lawn doesn't need to be cut, it's still so much easier just to put in the leaves by mowing them up and raking them and all that nonsense. So let me just check, does that patio need an edge done? Just in case. Yeah, we can clean that up a little bit. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear the audio from my microphone. Something I've noticed recently with the live streams is that the chat has been very, very quiet. Not as many people chatting like they were previously, so then kind of loses the incentive for me to do them, which is why I've not done as many as I was doing before. Of course, the mowing and all that's a priority, and it takes a lot longer to mow if you're live streaming. Oops. So, let's see what we can do. Let's go get those. Let's start over here. Just blowing some of these leaves onto the lawn if possible. They're nice and dry today, so that's good. It's a little bit easier. I'm going to keep them away from the Schaefer beetle areas because I don't want to go over that with a mower. You get big chunks of dirt and stuff that get sucked up. There are big chunks there. So unfortunate. Not too many leaves on this one yet. Just kind of spread them out and get them away from this fence line. Yeah, maybe we can blow some of these ones out. Now you notice I'm not cleaning out beds or anything. I'm just dealing with the leaves that are on the lawn. Not doing a full cleanup per se. So I tack all of my leaf cleanups in a sort of piece by piece kind of a deal, week by week. Do what's on the lawn, and then each week you're getting a little bit more. Part of that is because the leaves don't fall all at once. So I find if I'm going to do a leaf cleanup only, then I have to basically stop mowing for like the entire month to allow the leaves to fall, because you're constantly going to be cleaning leaves when you're mowing. So instead what I do is I mow and just add a surcharge each week to offset. These over here so that I can pick them up a little bit easier. That section there again is all Schaefer beetle area, so I don't want to really mow on top of that because of all the loose dirt. So we just do what we can. I'm not worried about doing like 100% getting every leaf. Just getting the majority that's there each week. And then as the weeks go on, obviously you start to get less and less leaves, and then they're falling, and then at the very end, when there's no more like leaves falling off the trees, then I'll then do one more mowing where I blow out all the beds and put the leaves on the lawn at that time. Now let me grab the tripod as well. See if I can get some footage for you guys. A little bit better. Got my gloves as well. My little portable tripod. I've got 3 bars on the battery. I'm using 2 12 amp hour Forge batteries in the motor right now. Let's see what we can pick up here. I'm going to go kind of light though, because I don't want to try to pick up any dirt. So I'm not going to go all the way over those areas again, just because I see a lot of loose soil over there. And I'm not too worried about all the leaves, because it's a week by week thing. I've learned from the past that like you can spend too much time doing a leaf cleanup, trying to get every single leaf, and then it's October, so the weather is always rough. And then as soon as you leave, the wind picks up and the lawn gets covered in leaves, and the homeowner gets home and it doesn't even look like you're there. So that's why I don't bother with every single leaf. Again, it's a system that allows me to continue the weekly lawn mowing visits throughout the month without having to wait for all the leaves. I just add a surcharge. The surcharge depends on the size of the lawn and how many leaves. I do a lot of mostly small, little lawns. So that surcharge could be as little as $15 added for a really tiny little lawn. Usually I have different tiers starting at 15, so typically for me I do 15, 30, 60, 120, 240. Kind of just keeps doubling based on the amount. Based on that amount of leaves. I'm mowing at 2 inches currently. 2 inches. And it's nice and dry today. It hasn't rained for a couple days. It's just the morning dew. It seems to be mostly dry on this lawn. So that's a bonus. So this is the Milwaukee M18 mower. I'm using the Milwaukee high lift blade, and the mower's on high power. Maximum power. This time of year, throughout the summer, I was using it on the kind of auto mode. I still, depends on the lawn, but I found that obviously the high power is going to work a bit better. It's going to keep that RPM higher. The auto mode will be in a low RPM to conserve battery. And then it'll automatically sense if there's like an extra load that it senses on the blades and stuff, it'll ramp up the RPM. But then sometimes, I found with like leaves and stuff, and true with any of the battery motors that have that same kind of thing, is that then you end up getting like lots of fluctuation of RPM, because it'll be like low RPM then high RPM, low RPM then high RPM. It's like areas of leaves or no leaves, areas of leaves or no leaves. So then sometimes the cut quality isn't as great. So I found that, it's just better in these tougher conditions when the lawn's wet, whether it's just morning dew, or what have you, just put it on the high power. Yeah, it's going to eat up some more battery life, but it's going to run more. Our client's waving at me. It's going to use up some more battery, but it is what it is. It's going to run more like a gas-powered mower, right? A gas-powered mower is always on high RPM when you're running it at its optimal high RPM. Or with battery, because it's got so much torque, it can run sometimes at a lower RPM and do an equally good job if the conditions are right, like dry grass and stuff. The grass is nice and light, bags easily, but other times it's got to needs that extra oomph to kind of match the gas mower, just for bagging or mulching, just stuff like that. Times like that, in the high mode, you can click on and the battery life that I can get out of a set of 212 forged batteries obviously depends on the power you're using. If it's the auto or the high, depends on the blades you're using. If it's high lift or the more efficient kind of 3-in-1 blades that the motor would come with. And then of course the size of the lawns that you're doing. The weather conditions, if it's wet grass. But on average, I would say that this mower, and I have confirmed this with other people as well who have the same mower, that they've gotten similar results as me, is on average you get about 8 client houses done, front and backyard. Year. Now, you get fall leaf season like it is now, it's going to be slower. get as many, running the mower at high power, every lawn, every house, it's not going to be the same. You're not going to get 8 houses from it. Just dropped 1 bar. Right now it's down to 2 bars. Oh, it just went back to 3 bars. So we're right at that 50% battery power left, or you could also look at it as it's used one of the two 12 amp hour batteries worth of energy. Generally with this mower, because it's got so much torque, I will keep mowing with it until I start hearing any sort of like knocking noise under the deck. I haven't experienced a battery mower fully like bogged down like a gas mower would, in similar conditions. What tends to happen is I start to hear more of a knocking noise under the deck, and it's just like large chunks of like if there's like lots of stuff stuck to the deck, lots of buildup, and then it starts falling because a lot of the lawns I do are not smooth, they're very lumpy. So as it hits bumps and stuff, it dislodges some of that. So I'm just going to go around the perimeter of this sound. So I listen for changes in the blade, which I can hear now. The blade's getting a little bit louder, which kind of tells me the deck is starting to clog. And then the next stage will be kind of the chunks falling. Kind of that buzzing noise gets louder. Is what I mean by the blades are getting louder. It's a lot wetter back here too. You can see the water. Sunlight's hitting it, hitting the blades of grass. You can see like the sparkling in the sunlight. When I'm coming in that other direction. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but see the dew droplets in the sunlight in that direction. It's still going, it's still going. It's getting louder. Oh, there it goes. Now I can hear it clumping. There we go. So let's see what we got. A little bit of a clogged chute there. And then the deck will probably be full. Yep. Go dump this. Sun's starting to poke through, so that's nice. I'll put you guys on the tripod for the outer area. Just give me a second. Still no comments, eh? Just kind of move that to the side, then I can get the whole amount. Spot there. A little spot there. The sun's really shining now behind the camera. It's so much chillier. Last couple of days again with that frost. In the mornings I had to pull out my heavy hoodie. Thicker leather hoodie. This is those fine print apparel, dye sublimated hoodies, where they basically build the clothing, shirts and hoodies and jackets, whatever you want. They build them from scratch. Basically, you can design whatever you want on them. It's kind of like a wrap for your vehicle, but a wrap for your body, with your logos and everything, and it's dyed right into the fabric itself. They have these large dye sublimation type printers, I guess, and the fabric comes in rolls. It's just white fabric, and the pattern along with the design gets dyed right into the fabric, and then they take it off, cut out the patterns, and then they actually have like seamstresses and stuff that sew everything up and make your hoodies. So you get these like really cool hoodies. Shirts and stuff. I've got a whole bunch of shirts and stuff. I didn't wear them this year, unfortunately, because I gained a bunch of weight, so they didn't fit anymore. So I had them. I still have them, and we're gonna fix that for next season. I've started my intermittent fasting I was doing during the pandemic time, and that worked really well. I did that for like 2 years, lost 60 pounds. It was great, felt really healthy. And then kind of old habits kind of happen. Where life kind of gets you down at certain times. My dad had passed away, and you get a little bit of depression because of that. You start going after those comfort foods, the ones that aren't good for you. So I've been pretty impressed with this mower, with the high lift blades in these conditions. I honestly didn't think I would be able to use the Milwaukee in the fall, because they didn't have what I would call a true high lift blade. And when I first saw this blade, it looked more like a mulching blade. So I think I had it prejudged how it was going to perform. I found a kind of a little hack or secret with this mower, because initially I wasn't impressed when I first started using the mower in the fall, but I was mowing at the same height that I normally mow lawns at, and this blade doesn't have a huge high lift wing on it. It's got an aggressive angle, but the wing itself is not very long. So I think it just, I think they're trying to balance between battery life, giving you good battery life, and I've noticed on other battery mowers that have a true high lift blade, that it really eats into your battery life. I think they're trying to balance that. So it's not quite as aggressive of a blade, high lift. But I found that if you mow the lawn shorter, to kind of close that gap between the bottom of the deck and the grass, kind of seal it and keep some of that suction, because it's not creating as much suction. You want to try to do as much as you can. Where counterintuitively, with any other mower, with regular high lift blades, I would probably lift the deck, and I found that always worked better for collecting leaves and stuff. But this one's done pretty good with kind of making sure I'm basically mowing at summertime height, where normally in the summer I'd be mowing a bit shorter. I'm just hitting this section a little bit. Some scragglers because it's wet and lose the leaves. So I would prefer to find a true high lift blade for this mower, although this one is respectable enough to be able to use it. So actually, let me put the camera back on the... Yeah, so you can see the cut. It's not too bad. It's cutting, it's doing its thing. So it looks good. Looks good. I've had some equally pretty impressive results in wet conditions, but I've been able to use it in some light rain, but I haven't been caught in any heavy rain yet, which is a reality for me here. And I don't know if there's more. I don't think. Let's see, is this more even rated for rain? Yeah, see, I don't know. Tell me what you think what that means. It looks like don't get the batteries wet. Or is that don't use it in the rain? I'm not sure. Just gonna roll the mower over closer to the garbage can. So cleaning out the deck is a normal, everyday thing here, every lawn thing here when it comes to these in the spring and fall. It's always so wet. The grass never fully dries out. So this is a normal procedure. If you do it often, every lawn, then you're not going to track clumps. Sometimes if, like on this lawn, the access to the backyard is grass, so I don't have to clean it between the front and the back. But if it was like this, where I had to go across the sidewalks to get to the back, then I would definitely clean it before going to the back, and then back again before I go to the front, so you don't get the clumps and stuff. And green juice all over the concrete. Battery mowers make this a lot easier because there's no fuel. There's no venting systems to worry about. There's no oil to worry about when you flip a mower on its side. No carburetors leaking or flooding. So this area here is something that we'll have to address in the spring. There's no point now with the frost kind of hitting to be messing with that. Too late in the season. There's a few leaves left and stuff. Not too concerned about. It's that time of year. I generally try to blow whatever's left into the garden beds, because I know that's what I'll be cleaning up at the end. But again, I don't go too crazy because of the time versus the surcharge. Morning. Hello. Hey, you can see the Schaefer damage everywhere, like patches everywhere. Some lawns are fortunate that no wildlife has dug it up. All right. Got my tripod, got mower, blower, trimmer. Let me just pull this off before I turn the truck on, otherwise the Bluetooth is going to switch. So there you have it, guys. That is today's live stream. Mowing that client lawn, not too bad, not a difficult one there. It was pretty easy on the leaves, and it was already starting to dry out a bit, so not too bad. That is my kind of just the way I've always handled leaves. Yeah, the only time I've really done a full-on like leaf cleanup where you're doing everything at once was back in the kind of earlier days of my business when it would just be like a one-time cleanup for a customer. It wouldn't be regular clients. Because obviously there's no way I can show up to somebody's lawn, mow their lawn, and not clean the leaves that are on the lawn. So you're inherently doing extra work by having the mower pick up those leaves, especially because I bag, if you're mulching, whatever the case may be, so you have to charge more anyways. So I just started doing it, in that sort of kind of surcharge, different tiers depending on the leaves. So as it starts in the fall, you get a little bit of leaves. I might just add $15 to the mow. As it starts getting heavier, it might be $30. It might go to 60, go to 120 on top of the mowing weekly price. Just depends on how many leaves and stuff are there. And then at the end, when the leaves are done, then I'll go back and blow all those garden beds and stuff, put everything onto the lawn because there'll be no more leaves on the lawn after kind of like the final mowing. And then, so I'll just blow everything, clean out the beds for the winter, and that's it. And then do one final mow at that time, and then all the leaves are taken care of. So I do it kind of incrementally. People say that you're um, losing out on income on that because of you're doing it in thing, but I don't think so. You're just getting paid over the course of time instead of in one day. You're just adding it up, towards the end of the month. Because there's clients that I have that, for October, um, there's some that are like $300-400 are added to their regular, what would be just a regular mowing bill, and it's just from the leaf surcharges and stuff, right? So you're getting paid the amount that you would do like a leaf cleanup, but it's just you're doing it over weeks instead of all at once, which is a lot easier to handle. Being a solo operator, it's a lot easier to do it with the mowers and stuff than having to sit there and blow and rake and use vacuums and all that sort of stuff. So that's just the way I've always done it. Kind of tackle it. It's kind of like that saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time, right? You just do it little by little. So that's how I handle and have always handled leaf cleanups. So that's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the live stream. Unfortunately, nobody was brave enough to hit the chat. So that's one of those things. I understand people are shy and stuff like that. They don't want a thing. But yeah, kind of just one of those things. When you're doing the live streams, the chat is kind of part of the reason you do the live streams, is to kind of have that interaction with people. But it is what it is. Season's coming to an end, so maybe 2-3 more weeks. Usually mid-November will be kind of like the final wrap up of everything, and then it'll be time to take a break. So that's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.